Hey there again, Board Game Brody here with Let's Table It, where we get games to the table. Like this one here, Wingspan, and these new fan-designed bird cards that can be combined with, other future Wingspan games that you're going to be playing. Now, there are 6 different packs here that have 25 new bird cards in each of these packs, and they belong to each different categories, a different continent. There are British birds, birds of the USA, birds of Europe, Asian birds, birds of New Zealand, and birds of Canada. Each and every bird that you see in these promo packs are brand new. They come from continents that have already been included in the game already through its many expansions that are out there. Now, there are no completely new mechanisms with these cards, so everyone that you will, see with them have been done. They've been designed similarly already, but if you don't have some of the other expansions, then some of them might feel new to you. But the abilities are new, never seen on any of the other cards, just using similar mechanics in different ways to make these new cards for you to play the game. And each pack includes a couple cards which have some help to explain the cards so that it can work with you if you're new to what's on those cards. Now, the art is comparable with the other cards seen on all the other Wingspans, minus the fact that they are completely different birds, But the style is all the same. Overall, if you are a fan of Wingspan, you probably have been, in a group who kept wanting more and more birds. And more birds. Here they are. They're 6 packs that give you 150 cards, and if you get all 6 packs, then that's an increase of 56% of what's in the base game. So not bad at all as far as the numbers goes. Obviously, this gives you additional combinations of cards to explore, and you get, to see new bird powers as they come out. I do like that there is an option for additional bird cards for this game. I meet so many new gamers who find Wingspan here and are super excited about playing it. I still play this game a lot myself, a lot on Board Game Arena, but also it's one of my go-tos when I have new friends that come over. So the game does get played a lot, and I think if you do play the game a lot, then these cards are definitely going to be worth it to add into the mix. One of the biggest things I like about Wingspan is learning about birds and actually seeing, education information included in the game. And with a game that is also a very well-designed game as well. So you know the game already, so I don't, need to go over exactly how the game goes. You probably love the game already. A lot of people do. But let me share some of my favorite new cards. In the British cards, I like the Marsh Warbler. It has a game end effect, costs 2 food, and can be placed on any terrain. But you can copy a game end power of any one of your birds or of a neighbor's bird. Similar bird, but the Willow Warbler also costs 2 food, but can choose one other player. And for each action cube on their 4 spaces, you can tuck a card from your deck behind this card to give you some points. Let's move on to the birds of the USA. So the mountain quail. I'm pretty sure these are birds that I have actually seen on my hikes when I go to Colorado to hike those 14ers there. But at the end of the round, you reset the bird feeder, then choose a food die. You remove all dice showing that type of food, and for each, you lay 1 egg on this bird card. Better played earlier in the game. And then we have the California Scrub Jay. This is such a good looking bird. Look at that. But once between turns, when another player discards a food or an egg or a card to upgrade an action, you cash that matching food for its food, or lay an egg if it's the egg, or tuck a card behind the bird if it's card. All right, on to the Canadian birds. The Canada Jay, 2 of any food to play, but when you activated, you cash 1 food type from your personal supply on this bird, and or gain a food of a type that it cached on this bird already, taking it from the general supply. It costs you that type that you want a lot, of that first, but it rewards you with more and more of that type later in the game. Also, the piping plover, when activated, you roll any die up to 3 times, and if you roll at least 1 worm, you cash 1 worm from the supply onto this bird. I like those, gut-wrenching rolls of excitement or even probably disappointment many times as well. Let's check out some Asian birds now. The Sulu hornbill, expensive with 3 food, but has game end powers. Now, choose another player, and for each bird with a double card action on their board, you draw 1 new bonus card, and if you draw at least 1, then you get to keep 1. Next is the black and yellow broadbill. Once between turns, when another player caches a food for any reason, you cache a food from the supply onto this bird. And the greater spotted eagle. When activated, you draw any number of cards from the tray with a total wingspan less than 45 centimeters, and you tuck them under this card, and you can refill the tray before you do this. All right, let's get to New Zealand. Probably, in my opinion, one of the coolest looking birds that are all out there. So the yellowhead moana, that has in-game bonus. You reset the bird feeder twice each time all worms are cached onto this card. It's like a last-ditch effort with those lucky rolls to get some extra points at the end of the game. All right, on to this one. I probably will say this wrong, but the spotted shag Pirakarika, it's very cheap. It's only costs 1 fish. And when played, you can tuck up to 5 cards from your hand behind it. So if you don't like, your cards that are in your hand and you have a lot of them, then this changes them into points. The last pack is the birds from Europe. So the common crane, when activated, if the card on top or on the top of the discard pile has a wheat icon in its food cost, then you gain 1 wheat from the supply. The common wood pigeon, when activated, if any 2 dice in the bird feeder show the same face, gain 1 of them. I love getting food very easily. It gets, me able to get more expensive cards later in the game. And now with the last bird, Eurasian wryneck. When activated, if you have more food in your supply than each of your neighbors, you gain 1 die from the bird feeder. Anyways, those were some of my favorite thus far. Obviously, they all can be beneficial. All these cards can when you play. And they've all been play tested, so really more expensive cards will be more powerful and the cheap ones are, less powerful, but cards tend to reward players in their own situation. So a card might be really good for what cards, you currently have played already, or it might not be that great for what you're doing and what cards you already have. I love the idea of getting new cards. I like the different continents used, and this will add more variety of cards to find those combos that I like to play in this game. Again, this is Brody with Let's Table It, where we get games to the table, like these new promo packs with new bird cards for Wingspan here. It's by Stonemaier Games. Please like and subscribe to our channel. We are working hard to bring to you videos like this one, so if these games here are ones that you want to get to your own table.